Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my class on creating a virtual booth in Darkroom Core. My name is Eugene Wise. I work with Darkroom. I've worked with Darkroom for about 5 years. I have been using a version of Darkroom for almost 19 years. Even before Darkroom was around, it was Express Digital Sports and Event is where I started, and then Darkroom Pro, and then it turned, and then Darkroom Core was added a while back, and then I joined the team whenever Darkroom Booth was added. But I've been working with the company, a form of Darkroom, for about 19 years. I helped kick off their Labtricity integration back in 2003. I have a little bit of a background in photography and photo labs. I've been working professionally in photography for 23 years. I'm almost 40, so straight into college, I got a job working in a photo lab and helping students. So that is a little bit of my background, just so you know a little bit where I'm coming from. I many of you may recognize me from the YouTube videos that are created for tutorials on our knowledge base and on YouTube. That is part of my job. Some of you may recognize my voice from talking to me on the phone. I will also take calls and emails. So a lot of times when you're talking to somebody on the phone, it is me. I like to think that we have a pretty good support team at Darkroom Software, along with some amazing software. I joined the company because the software was that good and I wanted to be part of it. So that's why I am here, but you are here for a class on creating a virtual booth using Darkroom Core. And so let's jump right in. Let's get started. It's pretty easy to set up. We're gonna go ahead and start off slow and build on a solid foundation. So each piece we add, we're gonna test in between and make sure everything's working the way it should before we continue and add something additional. So when you open Darkroom Core, this is what it should look like. It might look a little bit different, it might have a different image selected or a different catalog, but we're gonna jump into our setup tab, clicking this little tab right down here, and then we are going to go to our photographer info. So and then click on email and social media. Let's go ahead and remove these guys so you can work right along with me. There are 3 different things that you will need. Well, let's say there are 5 things. You're going to need Darkroom Core. You'll need internet in order to receive and transmit the images. You will need a Twilio account, and that's going to receive the images through text message and send it back through text message. You'll need an event gallery account, and that allows you to post the image online and share it. And that gives the idea of the community. That's the party aspect of it. Otherwise, you're just sending pictures back and forth. The event gallery is what allows other users to see the images that have been posted by their friends, and that kind of builds the party. So that's event gallery, and I believe you can do a 30-day trial. Event gallery is maintained by Darkroom Software. So in the past, you may have experienced some of the issues with Facebook, which is how we might have done this previously, but Facebook has cut ties with third-party apps. So we came out with Event Gallery to make sure that can't happen. You're building your business on something like this, so we want to make sure that whenever you need it, it's going to work. And that's Event Gallery. We maintain it. We make sure that they work. So And then the last thing is a Dropbox account that allows the image to actually be tied with the Twilio message. Those are the things you need: Core, Internet, Twilio, Dropbox, and Event Gallery. Let's go ahead and get logged into those. First, let's go with Event Gallery. That one's an easy one. You can click this button. I actually already have my Event Gallery account and I'm logged into it. I'm going to click on Account and then Settings, and then I'm going to click on API. And this is gonna give me my API key. I'm gonna copy that, and then when I go back to Darkroom, paste it. If I click OK, I can now see that the Event Gallery account has been authorized. So next on the list, let's get Twilio. And the reason why I went with Twilio first before Dropbox, because Twilio will automatically prompt for Dropbox. It is required in Darkroom Core to have a Twilio or to have a Dropbox account when you use Twilio. In Darkroom Booth, we got past that, and maybe in the future that'll be the case with Darkroom Core that you won't need a Dropbox account. But for right now, that's what we're going with. We're going to click back to our browser and log into our Twilio account, and then right here we have our account SID. We'll copy that and paste and get our authorization token and do the same. Paste. And right here where it says phone number, we're going to click on that and click refresh. It's now going to try to log in and see what numbers we have available. There's one, but this is the one I actually like to use. This account has 2 numbers associated with it. So, and this is, we're going to get into adding tags a little bit later on, but you can have multiple accounts and you can set it up so you send to this number and you receive this message, and it goes to this, it uploads to that Event Gallery. But tags can do that, so you don't need multiple numbers, but it is possible to use it that way. We'll kind of go over that again a little bit because I know it was a little bit confusing. So we're going to want to click, before we click OK, click Test. And it's going to say we need to have a Dropbox account. So let's go ahead and click the Dropbox link. Copy and minimize, paste, and Dropbox is now authorized, but we still want to test. That is the main message for today. Excuse me. So we'll click our test button. And then click OK. And then we're going to type in our cell phone number, not my cell phone number, because I don't want your messages. 4976. Okay. And now we should get, there it is, a text only message test, and then we will get a image, a Darkroom logo, and that lets us know that images are sending, everything's working good there. So we are on the right track. The next thing we are going to jump into is our templates. So we're going to click on, we're still in the setup tab in Darkroom Core. I'm going to click on Products and Services, and then Templates, and then Borders. So you're just going to look a little bit different than mine. I have a My Templates area, and I've removed the sample templates. You can select the sample templates, or you can click New Group and create your own group of templates for your virtual parties. It might be a little bit easier to find if they're in a separate area. But let's create a new template. I have the group selected. Click new. And then we are going to call this VB for virtual booth. It's a 4x5 and demo 1. I think at the end of this we'll probably have 3 different templates, so we'll start off naming it with one right off, and we're going to click OK. The next thing we're going to want to do is click add photo, and we want to make sure that this photo is a square. So first thing I did was I clicked on position and size, and I'm going to make sure that the height and the width are the same number. So we know it's a square, and the next really important thing is going to be to make sure that the scaling of inserted images is set to fit. If you don't set it to fit, you'll get some weird cropping or images will be chopped up. So fit is the way to go for this. After that, it's all kind of just preferences and aesthetics. So let's see, we're gonna go ahead and let's round the edges a little bit. And then let's draw a frame around it. We'll do 10 pixels, a little bit larger. Some drop shadow. Okay, so I have a square image with a drop shadow and a frame around it. Nothing too fancy, and it works very similar to Booth. If you're used to using Booth, they're all the exact same options, just laid out a little bit differently. So we'll click add text, and we'll call this PBX 2021. Or before we do that, I'm going to show you something really neat. Rather than type in 2021, let's click insert special text and go to date and time and insert this special text variable right there. Your percent will update with the year. When I click OK, you're going to see that it says it replaces it with 2021. I think we can adjust that color just a little bit so it matches. So we'll make it white, and let's do an outline around the text, but we're going to do, let's say 3. Okay. And then we also need some branding, so let's click add graphic and browse to our logos. Oops. I think that one's a good one right there. Okay, so we got a basic template going on. One more fun thing, and this is really just for to make it look kind of cool. We're going to, let's add like a greenish, like Tiffany green color. I have my gradient set, or my transparency set to predefined mask and a gradient. And what that's going to do, we'll see in just a second, it's going to add this nice little fade from blue to green, but it's on top of all of our other stuff. So this brings me, before we continue, this brings me to my own little personal plug. I have a class on template design in Darkroom Booth on February 25th. I hope you guys are all there. So let's go ahead and keep moving on. Let's drag this guy to the back, and now we got this cool little fade, and we're gonna save it as a new border. The description we used earlier now becomes the template name. So you can see that there's my rehearsal templates. I'm going to go ahead and click save. And we should be ready to go. The next step is we've logged into our accounts. We've created the template. Next is setting up the actual booth and the input and the output. So we're going to go to capture options right here. Sorry if I kind of click and then go back to catch you guys up. We're going to click on Twilio. This is going to be our input. We're going to skip tags for a second, and we're going to come back to that in just a little bit. But we're starting off slow, building a good foundation, make sure everything works before we add something new. So I'm going to click add. We are going to want to reply to that message with the photo with the template in it. So we'll click text message. And we're double clicking on it to make sure the size is set to full, and click choose to add the template. Now if you just click choose and you're seeing something completely different, you're looking at a different group. It's not a big deal. What we'll want to do is click options right here and then change group and make sure you have the correct group. So if you saved it instead of sample borders and opened to sample borders, that's how you would move to that group. So, and there's our template, and we're going to click OK. So that's the text reply. Next on the list is we're going to upload to Event Gallery. We're going to do the same thing. This one is PBX 2021. And so right here, this is pretty important. If you don't check the option for the date, whenever you upload it today, it's going to upload to one gallery. When you have the event 1 or 2 days later, it's going to upload to a different gallery. So you want to make sure that you set the date while you're doing your testing to be the same date that you're going to be using it, so that it goes to the correct location. So set that for the 22nd, full size, choose, and then OK. And then one more. We're going to save a local copy just in case everything fails, internet goes out, whatever. You still have something that you can upload later, or you have a backup. It's always important to create a backup as soon as you can. So we're going to save a local copy using digital media. And we're going to use those same settings. This we're going to set it to, let's go to my desktop. Create a new folder. BB demo. Okay, full size, and make sure our template's selected. Apply settings. Okay, so what comes up next is test. We're going to test it out to make sure it works. I know a few of you are thinking you left out the hashtags, but it's not important right now. All we have is a single event. So if you send a message to this number, it should reply back with an image. So let me go ahead and clear my orders menu. Right now I'm in the orders tab, and what that allows us to do is actually watch it get processed. So I have that message I received a little bit earlier. I go to my photos. Let me find that's a nice image. It's a vertical image, and there are a couple things we want to look at. I just sent it. So there it goes, me and my daughter. And what it should do is it should take that vertical image and adjust the photo node or the photo placeholder to match with the whole image and not crop it. and we'll want to do that. We'll give it just a minute to work its way through the internet. And while we're waiting, we'll have a Q&A at the end of this presentation, so you can ask your questions. I know there's probably a few people that have questions, but you can, while we're working together, just try to keep up best you can, and we're going to go through some troubleshooting just in case you run into any problems, because one thing that can happen and does happen is it doesn't work the first time, and we want to find out why. So after this processes, we will verify, see what's going on. Oh, so it should have processed by now. So the thing I did was I clicked back, and right here it says enable, and it is not enabled. So I'm going to click enable monitoring. A lot of times it'll give you a message saying, do you want to enable it? And there it goes, it's starting to send. But that was totally an accident, but it was a good thing to kind of know what to expect. So it's sending, and I have a reply, and there we go. There's the image. I know it's kind of not really in focus, but if we jump back into our computer, I think it's going to be this guy right here. Okay, so you can see that it's a vertical image, and it cropped it down. Even though we had originally set to square, it adjusted it within that bounding box. So in this image, the digital media will not show with the template, even though it does process. But if we go right here, delete that one because that was from a test earlier, we can see that it actually did save that image with the template. So, and then the last place to check is event gallery. It uploaded properly, and there's that test. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of complexity. Well, before we do that, let's pretend that it didn't work for a different reason. Because you might have it enabled and it just doesn't work. Before we move on, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So we're going to click close here and make sure auto print's turned on, and right here under setup tab, products and services, package groups, and I'm going to delete this and make it again so you can see how to do this. This is anytime somebody calls and asks, why is this not working? My almost auto response is, have you tested it using a package? That will let us know whether it's an issue with Twilio and sending, or whether it's something to do with the setup of the virtual party. So Darkroom has these things called packages, and that allows us to put in a output and set a little button and essentially have it process something. So typically people would use them for like an 8x10 package or 2 5x7s, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a text message package, leave it set to 0, and then quick print, just so we don't have to click a whole bunch of buttons to get it to go where it's supposed to go. And it's okay that it has no cost. I am going to click text message, and I'm not adding the template. I'm leaving it as simple as possible to test every little component. If this were to work, then the next step would be to add the template and see if it fails because of the template. You might find out that you have a corrupt graphic in there. But so now we're going to click on our photo library and test out the transmission. I clicked show order to pull up my different packages. I'm going to select an image, click the package, and see if it sends. It should take just a moment for it to process through the internet and make it to my phone. And that's it. So I received that image. That lets us know everything in Twilio is working okay. So the next step is test out the other things. Add the template. See if it processes that way. And once that all works, then kind of start looking at your actual setup. Because 9 times out of 10, it's actually having problems just transmitting, or it's not logged into Twilio, or usually it's Dropbox, and that's where the problem comes on in. So if it failed there, go back to your Dropbox account and your Twilio account, remove them, re-add them, and usually that fixes it. Now you shouldn't have that problem today because you just added it right now, but a lot of times people will run into this down the road because Dropbox did something funny where we have to reauthorize or we log in. It happens. So we have that is our troubleshooting, but like I said before, the main thing about this setup is add something and test it, then add something else and test it, rather than just build everything and not know where the fault is. So we're moving on to a new scenario where that's perfect for a single event. Let's say you have 2 events happening at the same time. So this is where your tags come in. But first thing we'll need to do is go back to our template. We're going to need to create a new template. Change the description to 2. Let's change that background color just for fun. Go purple. And the let's say it's a birthday party. We'll leave the year in just for fun. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that out. It just doesn't fit. It makes 0 sense to have the year in a birthday party. Scoot that guy over and let's change that background just because it's always fun playing with colors. Go with like a magenta color there. Okay, fine. So we're going to save it as a new border. We changed the description. The description becomes the file name when we save it. So if we click Save Changes, we'd be saving over the original. We're going to click Save as a new border and click Save. Whoops. I've already got one named that, so call it 02. Save as new border. And it would have been okay to save over that one just because I know I don't need it. It was a test earlier and I'm pretty consistent with my file naming. But if you get that message, make sure you don't save over it if you don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch back over to our capture options. Click on hot folder and social input. We're gonna first update this one with a tag PBX. So when they send an image and use that tag, it's going to set that on that specific path. And when we add another input, we're going to add a different tag, and they'll set it on one of two paths. Okay, and then click Add, Twilio, and we'll call this one B-Day, and click Add. We're going to upload to Event Gallery. I'm going to select that template, and then save a local copy, and that is going to go to our B-Day demo folder, and then select that template, and then we're going to add a reply text message so they receive that image back with the template. Full size, choose template. Okay, just double check to make sure I have full size selected on all of them. Okay, good. And then we are going to go ahead and click OK. So we can test it, but I already know this is going to fail for one reason. I'm hoping that you've seen it. Select a horizontal image and put in B-Day. The issue why this will not work is this option right here. We have to enable monitoring and go ahead and click send. So this brings up the possibility that somebody is going to send an image and misspell the tag. I would be notorious for misspelling something like that, or that they forget the tag altogether. So there's a contingency plan that we can put in place for that type of mistake. We're going to switch back to our templates, because it's always fun building templates and that type of stuff. And so the photo is not important. We just want to let them know that they messed up. Oops, you forgot the tag. And we'll go ahead and just for fun, go with a scripty font. Okay. We can remove the logo, because once again, this is not being uploaded to YouTube. Or, I'm sorry, it's not being uploaded to Event Gallery. And there's my text message. It made it back to me. It's not being uploaded to Event Gallery. We're just sending it back to the user. So branding is not too important, but you could leave branding in it if you wanted. Let's go ahead and make it cautionary yellow, and that's gonna go with orange there, and then the background color set to yellow. And then just for fun, we'll scoot that orange color down just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to want to click border properties and make sure we add the description, because that description is going to become the file name. If we click save changes, we would have overridden it. If we click save as new border and add the file name, then this description and the file name don't match. So go ahead and add that, and then save as a new border. Okay, so we have our little message template ready to go. And we'll click back on capture options, then hot folder, and add Twilio. Add, and this time we are only including the text message because we don't want this to go up to Event Gallery. We don't need to save it. If you wanted to, you could save it so you have a record of how many times this happened. That might give you a little idea to change your marketing. Maybe say, hey, put in bold, use this tag, don't forget the tag, but for right now we're not going to save locally. Choose, and actually I set to full size. It's not that important. You can maybe speed up the transfer a little bit by setting the preview size. So, and we are gonna go ahead and test it, and I know this time you guys know what is missing. I have not enabled it, so I have a little bit of time between then when I send it and when I receive it. I've sent the image just for fun. We can go over the orders and wait for it to come in and process. Okay, so while that's going on, couple things I want to remind you. I have another class that I'd love for you guys to attend if this is in your realm of it's a basics class. Darkroom Booth 101. It's Introduction to Darkroom Booth. It is it might be a little bit basic if you've been using Booth for a little bit, but if you're just getting started and you just got Darkroom Booth, or you're thinking about getting Darkroom Booth, this is a class that is perfect for you. And then on Thursday, this is the one I'm really excited about because a lot of my background is design. Template design for Darkroom Booth, and that's going to include creating screen templates, creating print templates, and using a little bit of Photoshop. I will be giving away, or there will be a downloadable graphics pack that you can download to help build screens and prints. So if only just for the graphics, it's totally worth it. But I'd love to see you there. And that one will start beginner level, and then we're gonna build up to more advanced stuff like Photoshop and masking. But if you get to a certain point, you just kind of sit back and watch, and eventually I'm sure you'll get there where you like using Photoshop. I hope, because it's a cool program. So that's my little plug for myself. I think we are just about to switch over to Q&A. So if you have questions, if you've been watching along and you're curious, hey, can I do that with email? Answer is yes, you can. So you can check that one off your list. But we'd love to hear your questions, and we have some people standing by to help answer those questions. I would like to say thank you guys all for sticking around till the end. If you're watching this, I appreciate your time. It's valuable. And remember, I am available 24/7 on our knowledge base. Yeah, darkroomsupport.com. Another great resource is Darkroom Templates, where you can download templates. But darkroomsupport.com, I pretty much maintain that. I try to make videos and downloadable content and just stuff to help you along. Until next time, I really do appreciate you guys being with me. I'll see you next time. Hi, it's me again. If you haven't already subscribed, now is the perfect time to subscribe. Click the subscribe button down there, and if this video was helpful, I would appreciate a big thumbs up. That allows other users to it's more easy for them to find it. Algorithm stuff. But here are some other videos that YouTube thinks you would like. Thanks so much for stopping by. See you next time.